Casey, what's going on, man?
Not much, bro. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. So I was taking a class earlier. As you know, I am wanting to get more and more into graphic artistry.
Always. It has been one of your passions for many years.
Now, I wouldn't call it a passion, but
It's been a side
into
project.
It.
It's a side passion.
It started out as like a need to know when we were doing
fair.
the Scene Snobs early on. It's like because a lot of those early promo cards and stuff and things we put online were just literally things I typed up, and I was like, I'll just make this background red.
Hey, it worked.
It worked for the moment, but I quickly had to pimp those skills out real fast and get up there and do what I could. So I've always used Skillshare to do it.
That's how you started it. Yep.
Yep. So, and I am so proud to say that we are partnered with Skillshare now,
which is awesome. Super excited to be membered up with Skillshare.
And if anybody, and for anybody who's wondering what Skillshare is this online like learning community. So it's classes, and it has thousands of courses you can take for creative and curious people that just want to learn about illustration, design, photography, video freelancing. And so much more, like graphic artistry is on there, things like that. So it's a lot of fun, a lot of things you can take away from it. And it's just this whole community of people to be out there and help you. So the members, have access to their teachers, there's employees to help them, and the members can also eventually maybe build up and start making videos and such too. So it's
fantastic. It's a huge platform with a lot going for it.
And we're pretty big on researching things we don't know so we can kind of get there.
Yeah.
And Skillshare has been a big help. So if you guys are interested in checking out Skillshare, head over to thescenesnobs.com or our Linktree. Descriptions have the links below, and you can check that out. Check them out and join up. The community is awesome, and let us know what you think.
Yeah, definitely. Make sure to become a member, sign up, and go ahead and flirt with all those fun ideas you've been wanting to play with and learn a little bit more.
And tell them the Scene Snobs sent you. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Plot Roast. This is our show where one of our patrons each week gives us a movie to watch, and we roast the hell out of it.
Yeah, because, what's more fun than tearing apart a movie that you have sent us to either love or destroy?
Yeah, and there's been a lot to destroy. I don't think I've seen anything yet that I hated, but actually... Blood Lake was pretty bad.
Blood Lake was awful.
And The Stupids was bad too, but the thing was, Blood Lake came after The Stupids, so it's like kind of washed off the stink of The Stupids a bit.
Yeah, The Stupids was harsh. That was hurtful.
I don't think I've watched anything that I truly loved.
Masters for me, but that's because it's one of my all times. So
that's true. That is very true. It is not one of mine, but I think Dolph Lundgren definitely he redeemed himself in my eyes in this week, because the movie that Casey and I will be reviewing this week is one we've never seen before.
Oddly.
And depending on where you live, it's either called Dark Angel or I Come in Peace from 1990.
It's a fantastic work of art. Truly a wonderful piece. Who gave us this one, by the way?
This one comes from Chris. Chris Sales gave us this one, and it comes off the back of Masters of the Universe.
Yes.
He was like, I really want you to do that Alien movie with Dolph Lundgren. And I'm assuming he meant this one, and I hope he did, because I watched this movie again I've always heard of it, but I'd never seen it. It fell in at a time where everybody seemed to be making cop alien movies.
Yeah, there was a weird amount of those. We had Alien Nation.
Yeah. Oh my God, I hated Alien Nation too.
Alien Nation was too procedural and weird.
It really was.
And the problem with this movie is easily lost because it is a clone of many scenes of other movies.
Right? And there's so much influence on this movie, but it's also a movie that doesn't seem like it should make any sense.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, but it does.
But it does. No. This movie came together and actually closed plot holes and actually made sense and had a logical beginning to end. Now, it's with an alien drug dealer.
Oh my God. Yeah, so yeah, let's go there. Let's start from the beginning and just say, okay, so the
Okay.
movie, this is two movies in one,
Yes.
and that meet at the end, and they kind
Yes.
of intertwine throughout perfectly. I'm not taking this away, but before we get to roasting this, it's a movie about a police officer whose partner gets killed
Hmm.
um, during a drug undercover drug
Thing. Yeah.
bust or whatever it was. He gets killed by some drug dealers. He gets killed by the actual like mega power drug dealers in the town,
Hmm.
and who just blew up the police warehouse, by the way.
Who they blew up the police warehouse. They kill an officer while he's being listened to on radio. Like he's obviously got a wire on, but they don't have the audio because apparently tapes are expensive. And they didn't have any other proof. And for the sting operation, it was one guy going in with one backup in against like the biggest crime boss in
Yeah,
the area.
like this starts out as Heat.
Oh
This
yeah.
this steps up like because they go. It's like very intricate. Their whole plan to go in through the duct system, go into the warehouse where they store all the evidence,
Hmm.
steal all of the heroin,
Yep.
and this is all the heroin they're going to sell to this cop in the
Yeah.
underground. So they blow up the police headquarters and go straight to the deal. They go straight there.
Yep.
Like they get in this high speed pursuit, and then they go straight there. They kill all these cops along the way. No one must have rated. Oh well, we find out that Dolph Lundgren's character in the movie, who is a cop, and
Mhm.
he's kind of listening out for everything. His name is Detective Jack Kane.
Jack Kane.
Oh my God, that is a
Yep.
hell of a name.
That's a strong name, bro.
Well, his partner is in there and he's undercover while he's listening, like you said, with no tape in the car. But Detective Jack Kane gets pulled away when two meth
Armed
heads,
assailants.
armed assailants, they look like meth heads.
No,
They
yeah,
went to
clearly.
the makeup department, went straight to how do we make them look like heroin addicts?
Well,
Because that's that.
1990, man. 1990, bro. I mean, crystal
Yeah.
meth was a thing.
Well, that
Mostly probably cokeheads or crackheads, really. I think crackheads was more we were leaning on then.
well, it was no, it was definitely heroin because remember the alien comes back for the one,
Oh,
the
yeah, he
other one.
does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it all plays in because the heroin, and it's funny because like you watch a lot of these cop movies, and the heroin is always, or not heroin, but drugs in general, are always like just the MacGuffin,
Hmm.
sort of what sets everything off and what people are looking for. This
Yep.
actually is the MacGuffin in the truest sense because everyone needs it.
Yeah.
You know, Kane has to get it to like kind of prove that they were there for that.
Hmm.
Um, the FBI wants it because they don't want it on the streets. It's so bonkers. Like we're still explaining this movie. We haven't even roasted it yet, and it sounds like we're roasting it.
I know. Well, because there's a lot to it. Because what we have to understand is as the drug dealers are leaving this drug deal where they've killed this cop, suddenly this magical alien shows up. And this, first of all, he's tall, like taller than Dolph Lundgren. So he's already huge.
Yeah. Oh my
He's
God, way taller.
massive. And he's
He looks like
blonde.
he looks like
Carl in Die
Carl
Hard.
from Die Hard, and like Bryan Cranston had a baby.
Wow.
It's
I was
so
going to go to
eerily.
Rock just because how much bigger he is, or the Undertaker.
No, the other dude looked like the Undertaker. With
The other dude
forehead.
looked like the Undertaker. Walt Goggins had a baby.
Yeah, it really does. That brow is huge.
I mean, he had like a 5 head. His hairline started back here. He looked like a Viking.
Well, we didn't even get into. So the cop gets killed, and this is before the alien shows up.
Yep.
So the cop gets killed, but Jack Kane is in this grocery store, roundhouse kicking these heroin addicts who are trying to rob it.
Those
That's why
roundhouse
he's
kicks, bro.
busy.
They were
He's
deadly.
not there. Yeah, and then he has to race to go find his partner. And right before he gets there, that's when the alien shows up. And the alien only shows up to steal the drug.
Heroin. Yep.
He wants the heroin. But the alien only says one thing in the movie. What does he say, Case?
He says, "I come in peace."
Everyone. He says it, and it made no sense to me because he'll say it and then murder somebody. He'll give them the heroin.
But it
and
was
murder them.
perfect. It was perfect that way because by saying "I come in peace," you notice everyone reacts very similar. Like, "Oh, Well, then I don't have to fight this. And then heroin injecting needle that shoots from his wrist into their chest.
Like
And
Scorpion from friggin'
Mortal
Mortal
Kombat.
Kombat.
Yep.
It's so ridiculous, but
It
it's
was
great.
awesome. It was
It was
amazing.
fun. But and here's what I didn't understand. So after everything's said and done, and the disc flies around and kills the other drug dealers.
He shoots a disc. Now, he shoots a disc off of a wrist launcher, which was one of my favorite Nerf guns growing up. And he shoots that. And as we're following this disc, because it becomes POV, follow the disc, it looks like a CD. It legitimately looked like there were words on the CD. I thought I saw RCA on there at one point, maybe Fleetwood Mac. Like, it's ridiculous watching this thing spin. And like, this is like homing in and attacking and killing the humans by homing into their magnetic signal.
Yeah. So the only thing I can really compare it to is Phantasm with the balls and spheres.
Yeah.
But it is a disc. You're right. It looks straight up like a CD. It looks like the CD you would see in the old 90s internet heist movies.
Yes.
That's a little bit smaller than the actual what a CD
The tiny
was.
disc. Yeah.
Yeah. And like I almost like in Mission Impossible when he gets the list of names, that's got to be the same disc that this alien is like kicking out.
Very similar.
So that's the only thing I can compare it to. But you're right. It beams all around, bounces off walls and stuff, cuts everybody's throats.
Which I realized, do you know what that reminded me of? You know where I saw that again later in life? And just now in this moment, I'm realizing it was fucking Xena. When Xena threw her damn disc, their chakra, that Joker, it was the same POV flight.
That's a good call. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. But so it's funny because the cop is dead.
Yes.
His partner is dead. And there's 4 henchmen there to pick up all of the heroin.
All heroin.
Mind you, none of them were one of the guys that blew up the building.
No, oh no, one of them was. Oh no, you're right. No, he got
left.
That's right.
They left with the boss.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just 4 extra henchmen cleaning up this heroin. And so it kills all of them. The alien takes the henchmen. The disc gets stuck in a speaker because, I don't know, magnets.
Because magnets, science.
Literally
magnets. Science.
We find it. But here's the funny thing about this fucking movie. Oh, man, I cursed. I didn't mean to. But here's the funny thing about this movie. It made sense. They explained everything.
They did.
I got to give them credit on that. Not a lot of writers will do that. And they not all of it made sense. Don't get me wrong. It's not like we're dealing with science fiction here.
There were some serious stretches. There was some hard fiction in that.
But I mean, if you can accept an alien's running around taking heroin. So that's the thing about this movie. And I don't want to roast it as bad because I enjoyed it, because at the same time, it's 2 separate movies. And the one I mean by that is you have Jack, who now has to team up with an FBI agent who's like by the book, played by what was his name? Brian Ben from Dream On and such.
He's just the most straight-laced, hard-nosed FBI G-man that you can imagine, who's by the book. And it's that classic buddy cop. These two don't work well together kind of deal. It's wonderful.
Oh yeah, and they rub each other the wrong way, and like he picks apart Dolph Lundgren because Jack is in jeans and a shirt, and like he's the type of cop who didn't check in for 8 days and then goes on a stakeout or whatever. And they're all mad at him, and he's just like, "You're kind of a bum. You're a Neanderthal." And then they get to his apartment, and it's like super nice, and he drinks wine.
Super well refined. Yeah, that was one of my favorite parts. Our hero drinks wine. He's not like, "Let's have a beer." He's like, "Would you like some wine?" I'm like, "I would."
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
The only one thing I can definitely make fun of is there is a character in this movie. She's a pathologist in the movie.
Yes.
And she goes out and she's checking all the bodies and such, and she slaps Jack as soon as she sees him. Mm-hmm. She slaps him. She's mad at him, and he's just trying to talk to her because he hadn't been around for 8 days. Here's the thing: you find out her entire motivation in this movie is to have sex with Jack.
Yeah,
that is it.
Yep.
She's not in love with him. She never says she loves him. She only wants to sleep with him. She's mad at him because he's not there to have sex with her.
Well, she gets mad about that. I mean, she gets upset. He shows up at her house, so he gets drunk. He shows up at her house, which is what you do in the 90s. Yep. You just knock. She lets him in, and she's pissed. She smacks him in the face a couple times, And then as she goes to storm off, he just grabs her, pulls her back, and he's like, "You done?" And in the most Dolph Lundgren way he can. And it's just all of a sudden they start making out. And I'm like, and
She's,
her reaction too, when he
she
asks if
was
she's
done.
done, and she's like, "Yeah, I guess." It's like,
Yeah, she was like, fine, you called me
yeah.
on that bullshit. And then she straight up is like, but that's her whole motivation. Her whole motivation is not to marry this man. It is to have sex with him like his dingling
Yep.
is 14 inches long.
Yes.
And she's had it before, and now she's addicted to it. She is the heroin addict of sex in this movie.
Well, this
Like,
whole thing is all about addiction, clearly.
it really is.
You have the
And
OCD addict who wants everything perfect and to be done a certain way.
yep.
You have the addiction of obviously the aliens using the addiction of heroin to make the endorphins kick off in humans.
Which I thought was a great explanation.
It was amazing. So then all of a sudden the aliens collecting these endorphins when drained from the human brain is like the biggest thing on their market. So that's their whole motivation is alien drug dealers are coming here to steal drugs, to inject drugs into people, and to then steal the brain drugs to go sell drugs on another planet.
Yeah, because
Incredible.
endorphins on their planet are worth a ton of money.
Yep.
And that's where I say like this movie is two movies in one, is because there is an alien cop from his planet hunting him down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's almost like the Dark Angel version of this, because this movie had two titles, like we said in the beginning. It was Dark Angel when it was filming,
Mm-hmm.
and across in other countries they called it Dark Angel. And it's since gone back to that. But in the US, it was called like Come in Peace.
Because of the TV show Dark Angel.
Well, I don't think it was the TV show yet, because that was years later. There were two movies called Dark Angel, though, from like the 20s and 30s. And I don't know why that would make any difference, but whatever.
Who knows? But this movie, we have mentioned that it's a highlight reel of other movies throughout from the 80s. And I mean, buddy cop movies. I mean, they start with a Richard Donner intro that would have made Lethal Weapon proud, because they start in a Christmas tree lot that I'm pretty sure is the same one.
Oh my God.
They've got the lettering in the titling in the credits to open are the same as Lethal Weapon, and you can't tell me different. They have points where they use switchblades way too much. That was just a note. They love switchblades. The strip club pool scene. So they go to a strip club, which a la Beverly Hills Cop.
Yep.
Very similar, with the straight-laced guy going, "I don't think we should be here."
Don't forget the Michael Mann opening of the criminals, the drug dealers breaking in.
That's right. That was completely a Michael Mann opening. Great call. Heck yeah. Let's see and that bomb, that little satchel bomb, was one of the biggest bombs I've ever seen. Whoever was using explosions in this movie loved them. So the alien guns in this thing explode on impact whenever the bullets land. So it's pretty much, this movie is my imagination of what it was like when I was 5 running with a stick pretending to shoot things, which is just amazing. It's just what I want. Everything blows up, man.
So I guess this movie took place in Houston.
I did it?
From my research, yeah, it took.
Wow.
It takes place in. I thought it was Chicago originally, but it's. I guess it was Houston from what they said.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. Like everything, like they absolutely. Like, the only thing I didn't like was like the name of the bad guys were called the White Boys.
Yeah.
And the reason I didn't like that is because it sounds like it should be rednecks, but they're all in suits and designer cars and everything. So like that had a Die Hard effect.
Yeah, it did have a very Die Hard feeling just from the bad guys being that degree of villain. They also had one of the other things that I definitely okay. So when Dolph loses his partner, Ray, and is screaming over his corpse, the music playing in the background, bro, that whole combination in that moment was Top Gun.
Oh my God, 100%.
That was straight 100%. Top Gun steel.
But I mean, that kind of worked for a few different movies. Like there, and you can't tell me that this isn't. I don't know what year Predator 2 came out.
Yeah,
but tell me this isn't a better version of Predator 2.
Yeah, it kind of was.
I mean, other than the awesome Predator.
Yeah, well, Predator was beast, and I did like the ending to Predator 2 because that was awesome.
Oh, and I like it too.
Now, one of the weird things about these aliens was their way of travel. At least the Predator, bringing Predator 2 up, Predator had a fucking ship. These
Yeah.
aliens don't have ships. They cannonball from space.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
I did not see a single ship this whole time. They would just randomly, like some crazy comet rocket thing would explode through walls. And then as you see like 5 walls broken down, one guy like turns the corner and he sees, you know, the alien rising from nothing. Like they were
Dude.
just launched there.
Dude, there were a few things in this movie though. Like I said, the coroner who just wants to hump Jack in the
Who,
movie.
by the way, notice how in step and cool she was. She was cool with everything. They were being shot at in the car and she's nagging him.
Yeah. Yeah. It turned into "Don't stop or my mom will shoot."
Yes,
It
that was
really did.
another great one.
I was like, dude, that's not even your wife, man. Like, what is happening here?
Right?
Like, it's not even his ex-wife. Like, it's so weird because they had no explanation for it. There was just a picture of them. And now you would not guess that they were in a relationship. What you would guess is they're banging.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like,
Well,
that
I
is the
mean,
relationship.
Ben, you know, his partner asks him at one point, and he's like, "So how did you like what's the deal with you guys? Love, hate, hate the love?" And he was like, "More like a hate. It's like that is not cool. What kind of
No.
relationship is that?
Yeah, they did not do well by it. But you go through and so the heroin is the big thing. It's the MacGuffin. Everybody wants it. So they get put on this case to try and figure it out. The FBI desperately wants a hand in it, but I guess they know Jack Hane's not going to quit. So, you know, because like his department was like, "You're taking a vacation. That's it. You're going on vacation." And he's like, "My partner just got murdered. I'm not going on vacation." And the FBI basically steps in and is like, "No, he's not. He's going to be on this case. We're going to assign him a special agent partner." And the whole thing like is suspect from the beginning.
Yep.
But Kane doesn't care because he's like, "I'm in it." So when they find the
He
disc,
made a promise.
yeah,
And when Jack Kane makes a promise, he keeps his promise.
I like the argument between them. It kept being is like, you don't use instinct, you just go by the book. And he's like, "Yeah, you know, why would we need instinct?" I don't know, because you're a human being. But but I like when they go to find the disc or go to figure out why they're all dead or how they all died, rather. Because of course there's no murder weapon.
Yep.
But they're all like dead, like right there, and it happened quickly. And they were at that's what it was. It was at the strip club.
Yes.
He watched the guys playing pool and he
Yep.
thought about a cue ball and like the
Bouncing
movies.
around.
And that was like his thing. He was like, "I come here to think." And he's like, "You come here to think?" And that's when he questions Michael Pollard's in this movie for like 3 seconds. And this is Michael Pollard, who just the year before was in Scrooge and in a ton of other movies throughout the 80s. So he's in it for like 3 seconds, and he, you know, they question him and whatnot. He's like,
they're rubbing a gun on his dong a lot. Like really at some point, I felt like he was getting off on that. Like because they went back to it like 4 different times. They kept cutting back to a close up of a gun on his penis, rubbing on his dong.
Oh yeah,
like that is uncomfortable. And Michael Pollard was not acting like, "Oh no," he was like, "Oh yeah,
yeah,
like,
oh yeah." You can totally
face of pleasure.
Dude, it was bonkers at some points, but like so they get no information out of the guys.
No, none.
They're not helpful in any way in that whole like little interrogation. It's literally he looks at the pool table and he's like, "Let's go back to the crime scene."
Yep. It was that fast. Now, once they find the disc, which is really rad, watching him go around and they actually explain it and walk through it and it's logical. Then they take it to my favorite character in this whole fucking movie. Bruce.
Oh my God. This is you. This is 100% you.
Man. I love Bruce so much. He's just over caffeinated, jittery, high strung on crazy meds, like wonderful guy. He's fantastic. He is so fucking funny. And he also has, so there are many great lines in this. There are 4 that I jotted down.
Oh God.
I have 4 that are contender for line of the movie.
Okay.
And he's got one of the first ones as he describes that this disc is magnetized and specifically set to a frequency to attack humans. And he's basically, it's turning your radio to KILL.
Jesus Christ.
Yes, sir. That line was amazing. So this is where this movie starts to kind of break a little bit for me. Because at this point now, we've got a buddy cop movie. We've got an alien alien cop movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're following that up. Now we throw Bruce in, and Bruce is like the lighthearted, funny part of it, but he's like a weird, demented character from Reanimator or something. You felt like he would be more comfortable in a B horror movie than in this, and I think it worked out great somehow.
Hey, can I say one thing? We get a lot of roundhouse kicks from Dolph Lundgren in this movie.
I believe I counted 9.
Yeah, I mean, and they were good too. I was
They
like,
were
this is like the
perfect
school
form.
of Chuck Norris.
Mhm.
He was like landing them perfectly.
Yep.
But boy, does he get his ass kicked in this movie.
That was a great part, man. We got to see Dolph not as a superhero Dolph. We got to see Dolph as a dude. He's a bigger dude, but he's still just a dude.
Oh no, he's a superhero when he goes up against anybody that's human. But as soon as, first of all, if he pulled out these moves in Masters of the Universe, send Skeletor to the door because it ain't gonna win.
Yeah,
that would have been over like quick.
Well, Skeletor would have been done. The problem is He-Man didn't kick. He didn't have roundhouses in his arsenal. He just had a giant fuck-off sword that he had to swing real slow.
But like sometimes he threw a kick or something. But in this movie, like he would spin real fast. I'm like, man, he was practicing. He was.
Oh yeah, he was in it. He was on his A game here.
It's just he would kick everybody's ass. They could have, like 10 people could have guns pointed on him. He's beating all their asses. But every time he came up against that alien, he was getting knocked around like a madman.
Rounds just tossed around. Yep.
Perfect.
Beat up. So then we have Ben very shortly after. So we have taken the disc now back home. So even before we get to Bruce, actually, his apartment has been ransacked.
Yeah.
So, and that's after he goes to visit his girlfriend. He comes back home. Apartment's all jacked up. Someone's in his apartment. So as he goes to grab the guy, he hoists him on the ground. We see that it's his partner, the Fed, on the table with a gun to the back of his head. And he says, "You're either Santa Claus or you're dead."
I remember that one. It made no sense.
I loved it so much.
It's so funny.
Hey, you're either Santa Claus or you're dead. It's just terrible.
It's
one of my favorites. Like, who says that? It was such a powerful line. It was full of Schwarzenegger one-liners, but not as many as you would think. They were just well placed. You know, they were very well used.
It made less sense when he said that than the alien running, the bad alien, not even the cop alien, the bad alien running around only saying, "I come in peace."
I still think that made perfect sense because it stops people from being like, "Well, I guess I'm not going to fight you, heroin needle."
Either you're Santa Claus or you're dead, pal.
I think it's great. It's right up there. I'm telling you. You got to tune your dial into KILL, or you're either Santa Claus or you're dead. Those are two strong ones.
One of my favorites is when he shoots the police chief who's trying to kill his partner.
Yeah.
And he looks straight at him and he goes, "Never trust nobody." Cain Manual, chapter 1, page 1.
Yes, I have that. Yep. Never trust nobody. Cain Manual, page 1, chapter 1.
It plays into Smith, his partner, the FBI agent, who's always quoting the Switzer Manual, which is his boss. And oh my God, the Cain Manual. Never trust
Cain Manual. I saw that and I immediately thought of your son.
Yeah, right. Oh my God, that's exactly something he would say.
Let me tell you the Jack Kimball way.
Dude, oh my God, that's legit. So this movie, like, again, this movie, you could have made a sister movie about just the alien cop chasing down from that perspective.
Yep. Because we don't even get alien cop.
Story.
We don't even get alien cop till the 54-minute mark.
I know. And you know what it is? Like, he's there, but he's not there. Because he does show up to the woman early on.
Yeah.
But you don't know. You think he's another alien. And
he's actually another alien. That's all you know. Is he's cannonballed from wherever the hell he came from.
Yeah. At one point, I was like, didn't he have blonde hair earlier? And I just thought it was the alien. And suddenly got explained to me, and I'm like, oh, okay. He's a different guy. That was me, dude. I was like, wasn't he blonde? And I just let it go. I was like, that's
Not
it.
anymore.
This.
I guess I honestly, for a minute there was like, did they change actors midway through?
I didn't. That's how far I noticed. Like, because you're in it with London, who doesn't even meet this guy until, like you said, the 54 minutes in. It's an hour and a half movie, people.
Yep.
It's 54 minutes. He meets the other space cop.
Yep.
So, but he's already gotten his ass kicked by the bad alien.
Yeah.
Like 9 times.
And there have been some terrible. So one of the other things here with the bad guys who are very a la Beverly Hills Cop 2 or Lethal Weapon 2, any of the ones that had white Aryan,
Yeah.
basically those guys. They have a few moments where there's a car chase that breaks out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's terrible because like they play chicken and he's like, Jack, are you crazy? And he's like, the last thing these guys want is a scratch on their car. And so, because it's a Corvette versus whatever, they're a station wagon. So the Corvette veers off. He turns around, takes one shot at him. One fucking shot. Breaks the back of the windshield in the Corvette. And these guys who have been chasing them down the streets of whatever city they're in just finish and they're done. They stop chasing them. I was like, that's like the cheapest, weirdest car chase because it still goes back to the bad guys. Like the camera pans back to them driving away. I'm like, why?
But I thought the nuisance of like these, Earth drug dealers, the humans, trying to kill Jack throughout the entire thing and his partner, adding to the element of they know they're hunting down this alien that's going to kick their ass no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's another alien. They don't really know what he's all about. Jack is just using his instincts that he's like, I don't think he's trouble. And then you have these human drug dealers that are like fully loaded, attacking them constantly. You have the FBI trying to like get to kill them.
Yep.
And then you have
to undermine their investigation or at least steal the parts the whole time.
No, at one point they're trying to like legit kill him.
Oh yeah,
because they're trying to hide the alien situation. So that we get into this whole thing, and first of all, I'm going to pause on that one for a second. It's a gallon of water, not a giant jug of,
what?
Sarsaparilla.
Ain't no problem. Just have me a big old swig.
I know we're in Western Virginia, but not West Virginia. Come on, come down, calm down.
It makes me feel cooler, man. I like to jug drink.
Dude, I feel like we should be sitting up on the Shenandoah skyline, just like not talking about this movie.
Well, this movie has a lot to talk about. It's got a lot going for it.
So much.
There's a lot going for it. And mind you, so this is an hour and a half long movie. So you will not be disappointed with the run length. And also, Dolph Lundgren, our fucking hero, Jack Kane, does not meet the alien until the 50th minute. Yeah. Which I think gave us a lot of time to set and prep the stage for that. And they actually did it well. Out of all the cheese and the absurdity and the ridiculous stealing of scenes from other movies that we've all seen and love and know by heart, it played on, it's almost like a nostalgia play. This one fit perfectly because it hits all the marks.
So it does hit all the marks. I got to give that to you.
Poorly.
And it's a fun movie. It is a fun movie. And it's different. And, I wish this movie had better like accolades to it or whatever, because it deserves it. It's that good of a movie. Especially if you're that straight to video type of kid like we are. Like, I feel like this movie would have really hit the nail on the head as kids. Like, we would have been like, this movie's awesome.
Oh man, this movie, if I had watched this around the same time I was getting into Starship Troopers, it would be a 1 and 2 deal.
This is I will definitely be watching this again. Because the acting in it's fun. The comedy is fun to it. The action's a lot of fun. The story makes a lot of sense. They go out of their way sometimes to make the story make sense. With as little as the cop alien is in it, it still works. And I would still watch another movie that's just the two aliens chasing each other on Earth.
And I think it's great because what they did with the cop alien, to actually only have him in a couple scenes, but to know he's ever present, and then finally to use him in the end the way they did, to have him, bleeding in the back of the car was awesome, and have to give the mission now over to Jack Kane. Was fantastic.
And it worked out well because they got his gun, which is like the only thing that can hurt him. And
after he blew up.
Yeah. Oh, when he blows up. Oh, it was great. My favorite thing about this is it's in 1990, but it ends in such a 1980s way, which was, I feel like every action or horror movie back in the 80s could either afford a summer camp or some type of factory boiler room.
Yep.
And this one did it in spades, because it was 100% like that's the location they chose, and that was what was going to work.
Yep.
It's the partners and and Jack's girlfriend being hunted by the alien. They have to confront them there, and we don't want to ruin it for you, but we know who wins.
Yeah, I mean, Dolph Lundgren is in the movie, in case you were unaware. And in the 1990s, they didn't kill their stars. So if you're not sure who wins,
but he delivers. It might be my second favorite line in this movie.
Okay, which one?
When he goes to when he kicks him and he blows him up at the end, because he kicks him into the pipe.
Oh, we're skipping to that part. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, well, if you have something else you want to bring up.
I just wanted to say that Ben does a great job with a nut kick. They use nut kicks a couple times in these, and they are very well done nut kicks. So I was impressed with that.
Well, I feel like that had to, because he was shorter than everybody.
Well, yeah, and it works. It works. And so at the hour mark, they're taking off the case, because you have to. You have to be taken off the case. And the chief was so angry. The captain was perfectly angry, like every other quintessential angry 90s chief or police captain in the 80s. So he was great. So then at the hour 5, Jack promises the alien he's going to kill the other alien for him. And Jack Kane doesn't break his promises.
No, he does not.
They make a big deal.
And now,
before the showdown, one of the other guys that we've been following, Mr. Switzer, has a big scene with our FBI partner character.
I know, right? All right, go ahead. So basically, Switzer is supposed to be like this guy that Smith, the agent in the movie, who's partner with Kane, reveres. That's the one who wrote the manual.
Yeah, and he's one of the heads of the FBI agency that they're specifically working for.
And he took Kane off the case in the midway point, because they realized, we got to keep this under control, and Kane is just a loose cannon. And they were trying to keep everything a secret. It's shadow government type bullshit. Yeah. So he meets with Smith, played by Brian Benben, as we're talking about him. And he basically says, you got to kill him. You got to kill Jack. And that's when Smith is like, what?
I don't know if I could ever get used to this kind of work.
Yeah. So it's well done. Again, they kind of dot their I's, cross their T's, that it all kind of works. And it's not just like Smith is, because I think a lot of writers would have just written it as Smith was always ordered to do that.
Right.
When he had his chance. But they actually they give you that turmoil, that inner turmoil. It's like, I don't want to do this,
Yeah.
And I dug that about that.
Yeah, they definitely have a few moments where he realizes that he's not the bad cop he thinks he is. And of course they were going to do that. Of course they were going to have the back and forth.
Oh, absolutely.
It's got to happen. So after that moment, they have Mike's favorite line after Switzer is taken care of. The never trust nobody. Cade manual, page 1, chapter 1.
Oh, yeah.
Throwing that back right in Smith's face.
Great. They take him out. But I think my favorite line was, what do you call it? My favorite line is, what is it? Do you have he's like, what it was by what's his name? They're talking about going to university. This is the beginning of the movie when Victor Manning, the big bad guy, is like, what university did you attend?
Right. Yep.
And his partner Ray is like, a university of suck my dick.
Yeah. Oh, such a great fucking line.
Because they are racist. They're racist assholes, and Ray is black, and they know he's a cop. Sort of like they have a feeling that he's a cop, so they're trying to goad him by being assholes and talking down to him and such. And I love that line where he's like, the university is suck my dick. Are we doing this or not?
I mean, it's very true. It worked out great. There's another really great one at a minute 13. It's not actually a line. What happens at the hour 13 mark is when so they've faced off against the alien. They've met the alien. They got their asses beat by the alien, and they couldn't get the gun to work, so they're running away.
That was a
And
good
they
scene.
show that Jack Kane stole the drugs that the alien is there for, the endorphin. Yep. And the alien looks down and is like patting himself and just goes, "Ah!" And I was like, that's what I do when I can't find my fucking keys. That is me when I'm in a hurry to get out the fucking door. My wallet's missing something. I just completely connected with that scene and was like, I get it, man.
Dude, it was such a scene. Like, that was a good scene though. And so that's how they lure him to that like boiler room factory type thing.
This huge factory warehouse thing.
and they get to a point where so they get to that place and he has the drugs, but they're fighting. And the gun is now wounded the alien. The special alien gun is now wounded the alien. And
after Ben says, "I'm gonna toast this clown."
Yeah. So they get down to it, and now it's Jack fighting the alien. It's a big brawl. So they get to the point. So there's fighting. He's kind of getting his ass kicked, but now he's kind of fought him back because they hurt the alien with the gun, and he delivers the line. So the alien just again only knows a limited amount of English, and he goes, "I come in peace."
Mm-hmm.
And what does Jack say? "And you go in pieces, asshole."
Asshole.
And he blows him up. End of story. Ends on that note.
And he does it so beautifully because the finish in that fight is Dolph Lundgren pushing the alien. It gets a pipe through his chest. Like there's a broken pipe at some point that you see, and you're clearly like, okay, so that's going to kill him. And then they fight, and he kicks him into it, and it goes right through it. And it's commando, bro.
100%. It's 100% commando.
I was just waiting for the Bennett let off some steam line.
Let off some steam. Like it was 100%.
So it's a great alien fight. And this was a really fun fight. This was I was afraid they were going to do the Dolph Lundgren as OP and he's going to smoke everybody. Not at all. It wound up being, I thought, fantastic. It really required everyone to kind of work together and all, fight him. And it was wonderful.
And you know what? The fun part about that was that I liked about this compared to other movies like Predator and things like that. Like, yeah, I mean, Arnold gets his ass kicked, but he also doesn't, if that makes sense.
Well, because he's facing off against these huge things where, like, yeah, the normal guy is pretty much done after 2 or 3 hits. And Dolph is a little closer to the normal guy where, yeah, he gets hit a couple good times, but then he gets up and runs away, or regroups. He has to find a way to win or escape a lot.
They did. I really liked his character in this a lot. So this is the point where we turn to Rotten Tomatoes and we check out the ratings for the movies, and we're going to read off some comments and just see what people thought about this.
Oh, I can't wait to see what people have to say about this one.
So the tomato meter is a splat, a good old green splat at 33%.
Okay, well, if that's critics' score, they're fucking drunk and stupid.
Well, but the audience score is 46%, so it's not much better.
I mean, they're not way off, though, because this was really just pulling pieces from other things. It wasn't a great movie. I think I would probably score it closer to a 60%.
Yeah, I would put it up.
Strictly for rewatchability.
Yeah, I can definitely rewatch this movie. So let's read some of these comments. Okay. To Baxley's credit, the narratives move at such a quick clip that the threadbare story has little time to grate on the nerves, and the on-screen stunts believe the film limited budget. Ben is a capable comedian done in by tiresome, repetitive material.
I don't know why they say limited budget. They spent all their money on explosions. It was limited. It was not limited. They had a lot. This was Michael Bay level. Like, Michael Bay was inspired by this movie.
The only thing he, of course, they were all the explosions were at night. This whole movie seemed like it took place at night.
Yeah, there's a lot of night happening.
The gore doesn't do irreparable damage, but the film would have been so much more palatable without it. Was there a lot of gore?
See, okay, here's my thing on that. When they open up, the police officer getting shot is rough. They're like, as far as a lot of blood.
The
spinning disc did not kill many. Like it shows them killing, it just cuts their neck, but it's not until almost over halfway through the movie does someone finally squirt blood from that cut. And
So,
then there's another scene where it's almost over an hour and 10 minutes in before someone gets something in the head, you know?
so Mike McGranagan from Aisle Seat said, considering the story isn't that complicated, I Come in Peace really shouldn't be as muddled as it is. I wouldn't call this movie muddled.
This movie was not muddled. This movie had a clear, concise story with a clear plot that continued to drive forward and continued to get you in the mood and prepare you for just more absurdity behind every corner. It's either going to be a cheesy line, an explosion, or some crazy, absurd, stupid, wacky thing that happens that you just go along with. The ride never stops and it never really gets muddled. I don't think there's a muddling to it, aside from trying to figure out which alien is which.
Yeah, that's true. But you find out real quick once it really comes clear and you pay attention. I feel like that was a not paying attention part on our end. Dark Angel is junk food for action diehards. Are we action diehards?
Oh, come on. Of course, bro.
Yeah, I guess
between Die Hard and Lethal Weapon being some of our top movies, come on.
That's fair. Don't expect a hard-hitting story or even particularly good performances. I would say nay to that.
Yeah, man.
For a Die Hard action type movie, yeah, no, I think it worked.
This was great. I think, because they've got that Die Hard heist in the beginning.
I love this. As if 1988's Alien Nation weren't enough, here comes another action flick about drug dealers from another world. Lord knows that there aren't enough of them on Earth to go around. I get your point you're trying to make, but calm down.
Alien Nation was once considered the top rung of these types of movies.
Yeah,
because going back in time, it was not. Like, it was more dramatic, and they got rid of the cheese, which I think over time has hurt it.
Yeah, that's fair. And the last one is, it's B-movie stuff, but as long as an alien sucks your brain out first, you'll enjoy.
Yeah, it's great. This is not one you have to think. This is one you can sit back and be entertained by.
Yeah, no, 100%. I was entertained by it, but it is a B movie for sure.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot to it where you're just kind of like, I mean, I'm glad Dolph Lundgren got his time and shine. And he had his fair share back in the day, but this is a movie where it's just kind of like, all right, dude.
No, it's definitely B quality. It is not the most high-end movie. You're not going to watch this because you're amped to watch a good movie. This is a passable, fun movie that you'll be entertained by.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. I like that a lot. I think everybody should check it out. That's my feeling. My rating on it is, if you're into action, alien, sci-fi movies, and you especially like the B movies like we do, it's up your alley.
If you're a buddy cop action movie guy who wants, I wonder what would happen if someone decided to take all of these pieces and put them together. What would that look like?
I feel like we gave too much. I feel like it was too broad, because I was like, yeah, if you like your action alien movie sci-fi, and you're like, if you like your buddy cop, and like you added like 3 more adjectives to this.
Yeah, because there's a lot of them. That's the whole point.
So many.
That's what this movie does. It's not muddled by the story, nor is it muddled by the action sequences or it's muddled by what the fuck does it want to be, because it's trying to be everything, and somehow it doesn't fail in any of those.
If you like your down on the luck, dirty, hard dick cop, who's got a love interest that just is willing to fuck his brains out, but not, love him for who he is.
Also abusive.
And you love your drug conspiracy movies, you're gonna love this.
If you're a fan of FBI subterfuge and the idea that the feds are always playing shell games, this is your kind of flick.
If you like a cop movie where the partner gets killed early and it's out for his partner's out for revenge, you're gonna love this movie.
If you're a fan of movies that include crazy fun car chases and massive explosions, you're gonna love this movie.
If you're a fan of movies that have wine in them and comedy, then you're definitely gonna love this movie.
If you're a fan of movies that have just enough gore and action and wacky cheesy characters, then you're gonna love this movie.
That's all I got. I don't know.
It's
If you like boiler room warehouses, you're gonna love this movie.
If you're a fan of set design from basically 1983 all the way up until 1997, you will love this movie.
Let me tell you something about this movie, everybody. If you love beautiful architecture, watch the first half, like the first 5 minutes of this movie. If you love shitty architecture, watch the rest of this movie because you clearly spent their budget and locations on one thing.
Yep. If you also enjoy the idea of random international or interstellar space travel by being launched through a fucking cannon, you'll enjoy this movie.
Listen, all right. If you like the Terminator, Alien Nation, Predator,
Commando,
100%.
Beverly Hills Cop,
Lethal Weapon 2, Beverly Hills Cop. If
Die
you
Hard.
like basically any 80s action cop movie,
Red Heat. There was a feel of Red Heat.
There's very much a feel of Red Heat in this movie. There's some, and I hate the fact that you're so into Red Heat. This is the 3rd episode of this show. There's 6 episodes of this show, and 3 of them Red Heat has been mentioned.
I will always mention Red Heat.
We will watch Red Heat. Fine.
No, I don't want to watch Red Heat. I'm going to forever talk about Red Heat. It will be the one thing we never discuss. It'll be our red herring, our Red Heat herring.
If you like red herrings, this movie is definitely for you.
Yeah, this movie does not draw you away too often, making you head down a path going, I wonder why they didn't close this. Every door they open, they close.
Yeah, that's true. It does. Everything gets tied with a nice little bow in the end.
Yep.
All right, everybody. This is
freeze frame endings while the credits roll.
Oh, 100%, man. It was great.
Awesome.
And I listened. Oh, and that music, if you are a fan of kick-ass credits rolling music, it's in Tonight's the Night by the band that I forgot their name. That credit song was a banger. It was amazing. I even think I messaged you and was like, dude, this song's a banger.
Yeah, you did. No, the song was dope. And then there were about 3 songs that were on there. I was like, this is really good. Like some classic 80s hip hop. I was like, get the fuck out of here. I love this.
Yeah. Oh my God. There was a Halloween song. There was a Halloween rap song in it. And I'm so mad that this is not a mainstream people on Halloween listen to the song. I'm going to find it and it's becoming a part of my Halloween mix.
We will add that somewhere. Well, we're going to have to do a Halloween mix, bro. The Halloween mixtape.
Oh, I love it. All right. Listen, everybody, we are McManhattan and Casey, the Man Plot. We're here with the Scene Snobs all the time. You can check us out on our main show, the Scene Snobs Podcast, which is live every Tuesday night or out on every podcast platform thereafter. So check us out there. You can also check us out coming up on this Friday, starting at 12 p.m. Eastern. We will be doing our Casters for a Cause 12-hour fundathon for charity. You can join in. Lots of great shows going to be a part of that, and we're going to have a great time with it. We're hosted by yours truly. You can also check us out on Real Combat. You can check us out on our movie reviews, things like that. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit like on this video if you're watching it. And yeah, just subscribe everywhere. Go over to thescenesnobs.com, which is in the links below. If you're interested in Skillshare, which we talked about in the beginning of the program, we have links for that available. Bark Super Chewer. And we also have a Noom, which I'll be working out with and trying to lose some weight with. So I'll be skinny Mick.
You'll be more sexified.
Mick the Stick.
That's Mick what I'm going
for. So go check that out more. Of course, am always happy to have you guys on board. Join up on the Discord where we watch these movies and we talk about them more and more. So
join our Patreon where you can pick the movies that we watch.
Yeah, this is so you will see. You can either see this one of 2 places on our Patreon, or we show it once before we do the watch party of the movie on our Discord. So if you want to join our Discord, you'll be able to see the full version there. Otherwise, you have to join our Patreon to see the full version of this show. All right, everybody. Again, I'm Mick.
And I'm Casey. It's been a pleasure as always. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with us. We hope we managed to make you laugh and convinced that you need to watch this movie.
Night, everybody. Thanks for watching and listening, everybody. I'm the Scene Snob Mick Manhattan. You can check out the Scene Snobs Podcast live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel or all podcast platforms afterwards. Also on our YouTube channel, you can check out great shows like Real Combat, the ultimate debate show for movie lovers, mixed movie picks with new recommendations every week, Geek Fest live every Sunday night, and new movie reviews and news all the time. Like and subscribe, then hit the notification bell so you know when all of our new episodes drop. Thank you so much to all of our amazing Patreon supporters, with whom this would not be possible. They help keep the lights on and support us in such big ways. If you would like to become a supporter on our Patreon and take advantage of all the perks like monthly giveaways, early access, and so much more, head on over to the Scene Snobs Patreon page and just sign up on one of our 2 tiers. Join our awesome community of geeks, movie lovers, and so much more, and join up on our Discord. The Scene Snobs Discord is now live, and you can head over to thescenesnobs.com for links to there and more. The Scene Snobs merch store is now open with original and fun designs that are available on all different types of merch and apparel. Check out thescenesnobsmerch.com. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to all of our social media accounts like TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and so many more. We have fun updates, topics, we talk about collectibles, and so much more on there. It's a great time. You can find all of our links to everything on thescenesnobs.com or on our link tree, which are down in the descriptions below. Thanks again, everyone. Stay tuned and stay geeky.